Ladies and gentlemen, UFC 322 is finally here. Dana Baldy fucking White absolutely cooked with this card. I'm I'm fucking pumped. There's no other way to put this. I am pumped for this card. As you can see in the poster, we got pound for pound number 1 versus pound for pound number 2 in WMMA. I don't think that's ever been done before, if I'm not mistaken. And then obviously we have the banger of a matchup that is JDM versus Makhachev. Islam Makhachev. No, let me stop right there, cause then I'm gonna get yapping, and I know you guys don't want that, and I know I've been gone for a little bit, but don't you worry, guys. I'm back. I'm back, and I'm better than ever. And this is a banger card. This is a banger card, and get me to Saturday, man. Get me to fucking Saturday. But without further ado, you guys know I love to yap, so let me just shut the fuck up and get straight into it. The reason you're here, the reason why you even clicked on this video for the picks. Let's jump straight into it. Kicking off the card. Finally, we don't have a fucking WMMA stinker. Fucking finally. We got Susakayev versus Mokoniko. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. I'm fucking terrible at pronouncing these names. Now, Susakayev, and then, fuck. Mekoniko. Fuck. I don't know. It doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter. All you have to know is Susakayev, a fucking powerful striker. He likes to mog on people. He was showboating on Nolan a little bit. He was trying to be fucking, swervy, and it didn't quite work. He did get the win in the end, but, it didn't quite work like he wanted to. He's kind of a Dana White Contender Series merchant. He hopped in on 6 days' notice, 5 or 6 days' notice, for UFC 320, I believe. So, props to him, right? But it was an okay fight. He didn't look the best. He does train with the Hamza Chimaev, so that I'll give it to him. Obviously, he's training with the elite of the elite. Eric, I'm gonna call him Eric, 'cause my boy Eric Mekoniko. Fuck, guys, how do you pronounce it in the comments? Let me know. I don't even fucking know. But this guy's barely UFC level, if we're being honest. He fucking lost to Cody Brundage, question mark, but that's everything you really need to know. Cody Brundage fucking sucks. This guy's not a good striker. He got fucking starched by Ruziboyev, who himself is not the best striker. And I think this is just a bad matchup for my boy Eric. They're trying to make a name out of Shevchenko, and I think they will. And they're the UFC are gonna get what they want. Shevchenko by KO. It's really an easy pick. I don't think you should think too hard about it. Just go with Shevchenko by KO. I think he'll probably get it done, unless he's a bit of a fraud and he fucking can't knock him out. But we'll see. Moving up the card, we got Pat the Mat. No, that's not his nickname. Pat Sabatini against Chepe Mariscal. My boy over there kind of looking like a fucking Neanderthal. I'm not gonna lie. And I don't know if you guys have gathered it by now, but I am Mexican myself. This guy fucking has to be Mexican. I don't. Low-key, that's kind of racist towards my own people, but he's wearing the fucking green shorts, so he has to be Mexican. But he is looking a bit like a Neanderthal. Getting into his actual fight style though, he's on a 5-win streak. Why can't I never say that? He's on a 5-fight win streak. There we fucking go. These guys have fought before. They fought in the regional scene. Chepe Mariscal squeaked out the W by split decision. So that's really something to think about. I think there might be some truth to that. But, obviously both of these guys have changed a lot in their game. Chepe Mariscal is a fucking marauder, man. He's a marauder. And that's really it to his game. He's not really too good anywhere. You look at the significant strike landed per minute differential. Pat Sabatini, obviously a very high-level jiu-jitsu guy. Like I said, he has great level grappling just in general, and the striking. I mean, the striking is all right. He's kind of more of a finesse, a little in and out fighter, or jab here, get out, circle around, another jab, maybe a 1-2, and then circle back around. So he's nothing too crazy in terms of the striking, but I just think when it comes to an MMA fight, when it comes to a fight in the Octagon and the UFC, now that both of these guys have kind of polished their game, I just think Pat Sabatini has a clear advantage in one avenue, whereas Chepe, he doesn't really have necessarily the highest level of striking. He's just a marauder, and so sometimes that can kind of trick you into thinking that. But Pat Sabatini has decent striking defense, and so that's why I think he'll be able to survive those exchanges. And like I said, he's gonna have a lot more success on the ground than Chepe has, maybe even has ever faced since Pat Sabatini. Pat Sabatini is really active outside of the UFC when it comes to grappling. He participates in a lot of tournament styles or matches in grappling. So I'm actually gonna go with Pat Sabatini by sub. I know Chepe doesn't really get finished, but I think Pat Sabatini has really improved. He's looked really good in his last couple of fights. He lost to Diego Lopez. You can't really blame him for that. Diego Lopez, obviously a top 3 guy in this division at the very least. So nothing to be ashamed about. And yeah, I think he's going to get it done by sub. Yeah, man. Let's fucking go, man. I don't know what I'm saying. Moving on. We finally get our WMMA stinker. I know you guys were coming in to look for... Actually, I won't say this is going to be a stinker because, to be honest with you, this is going to be... I don't want to say a good fight, but it's going to be an interesting fight. And the simple reason is because we actually have a fighter in Fatima Klein that goes for finishes. That goes for finishes and gets them. So I think she's a really entertaining fighter just in general. I know I always like to say for WMMA standards, I'm not trying to be like that, but she is a really entertaining fighter in general. I won't give the little caveat, the little asterisk. She has high level grappling and high level striking, believe it or not. She was able to knock out her last opponent in brutal fashion. I think it was a head kick. No, it wasn't a switch head kick, but it was a head kick, and you don't rarely see this in MMA, but when you do see the knockouts, it's usually because of something like that, especially at strawweight. You rarely see that at strawweight. So I like the high finishing rate. She trains with Blanchfield, who is fighting obviously later in this card against my queen, and she is going up against Angela Hill, who's a vet in the UFC. In MMA in general, I mean, but at the end of the day, she is 18-15. She's a win-loss fighter, so I think she could be able to fucking cockroach her way to a win. But she's fucking 40 years old, guys. She has the reach disadvantage. The striking's a bit similar, and I think Fatima Klein is just gonna have the advantage anywhere the fight goes. I think she's gonna be the quicker, snappier fighter, and I think she's gonna get it done by TKO. More specifically, I think we're going to see a ground and pound victory by Fatima Klein. I think she's going to be able to mix up the striking really well, maybe fake a takedown or two, and then starch Angela Hill a little bit, and then be able to take her down, find her shots, and get it done by ground and pound TKO. But this is a crafty pick by me, TKO, like specific, not knockout, TKO. So that's kind of a crafty pick by me. But yeah, I'm excited to see if Fatima Klein is actually like that, if she's for real. So we're gonna have to find out. Moving up the card, GM fucking 3, baby, we back. How the fuck is he fighting already? He fought at fucking UFC 320 himself. He got fucking starched by Olejniczak. So I'm not too sure why he is fighting again, and I'll explain it maybe a little later. When it comes to GM3, he might have the lowest level of striking before the heavyweight division. The simple fact that there's a lot of fat fucks in heavyweight, I won't say he has the lowest level of striking in the UFC, sorry, but it's pretty bad. I mean, he's a fucking sub merchant. That's the only real way that he wins. I don't think he has a win that's not by a finish. I think all of his UFC fights are by finish, have ended by finish, sorry. And at least his last 5 have also finished by finish. So we know GM3, we know his level. He's 37 years old. So obviously not going to improve, not going to get too much better. And Kyle Dawkins is coming off a really good win. I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep fucking burping. He's coming off a really good win to Michel Pereira. He was able to knock out Michel Pereira, which was really surprising. I don't think many people expected that. Obviously, Michel Pereira has great level of striking in the first maybe round and a half. Definitely not 2, but probably only 1 round. And so we were surprised to see him get knocked out like that. I think these guys kind of have a similar style. I mean, even their fucking build is similar. If Kyle Dawkins had tattoos and a mustache, I mean, it basically would be the same fucking guy. I'm not gonna lie. I could have put 2 Gerald Mearshart photos here, and you wouldn't have noticed. They look the exact same. They don't fight the exact same because Dawkins does have obviously better striking than Gerald Mearshart does. I don't know, guys. I have this feeling. I have this tingling sensation in my you know where that fucking Jared Mearshart. Whoa. Why the fuck does it say TKO there? Guys, I'm gonna tell what the fuck is my editor doing? Yeah, he's already fucked up too many times. I might have to fucking fire his ass. Jared Mearshart is not going to win by TKO, I'll tell you that. I was just shitting on his fucking striking basically the whole breakdown of the fight. So he's definitely not going to get it done by TKO. Imagine he gets it done by TKO. That would be fucking... I don't even know. I think that would shock the world. That would send wavelengths all the way to China that are watching before the Zhang Weili fight. I think that would send all the wavelengths throughout the world. Maybe even Antarctica. A couple penguins would like flap their fucking wings a little bit just in honor of Jared Mearshart. Thinking about it now, I don't think this is the right pick, to be honest. But I don't know why. I think Jared Mearshart's gonna fluke a sub. So not by TKO. I think he's gonna fluke a sub. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. This is not a confident pick, but you gotta pick one of these underdogs, one of these big underdogs, because as we have seen, these guys are having some good success. So, but I think if he loses, he should just fucking call it wraps. It's been a good career. He had his ups and downs. Just similar to Paul Craig, fluked the sub here and there against good fighters, but not really high level. Maybe Dawkins can get a good win, but you know, a GM3 win in the big 2025 is not that impressive, so he won't really move up too much either way. But moving up, we got a fucking banger. We got a banger of a fight. You got a fight at 135 with Malcolm Wellmaker and Cody Haddon, mate. Cody fucking Haddon, mate. This is a great fight. This might be a short fight, though. I will say a lot of people are maybe trying to fence it, trying to say that Cody Haddon is... no, I won't say he's not good, but he's a brawler, man. He's a fucking brawler. He's a marauder. He goes in there, throws combinations to the body, 2 to the body, 1 up top, 2 up top, 1 to the body, circles out, clinches maybe, and he's just a fucking brawler. I don't want to say he has pillow punches. I mean, look at the fucking significant strikes landed per minute. It's 9.2. That's fucking insane. Especially with it next to a 7.2, which is already insane in itself. But we see the more slicker striker in Malcolm Wellmaker with the percentage. I think that makes more sense. It's not a crazy difference, but it's 1 out of every 10 strikes. That's the difference. So that could make a difference in this fight. Like I was saying, though, Cody Haddon, is he a pillow puncher? I don't want to say that, but he kind of is. I mean, against Argueta, he was fucking landing some nasty combos, and he just wasn't able to put him out. He had a lot of dangerous moments. He had moments where we thought Argueta might, get out of there, or he might put Argueta out of there. But he looked really good in that fight. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, how good is Argueta? I'm not too sure. That remains to be seen. But I really do like Cody Haddon. I think this is a tough matchup that they put against Malcolm Wellmaker, because I think if it does become a brawl, Malcolm Wellmaker is going to have the advantage in the power, in the slickness of the striking. He's a fucking knockout machine, and I really do think that he is one of the better prospects, not just in the 135 division. I think he's one of the better prospects in the UFC. We've seen that fucking left hook knock people out again and again. The one thing, does Malcolm Wellmaker have a good chin? That also remains to be seen. We haven't really seen him get hit too much like that. And so I don't think anyone can really say if he does have a good chin, especially with someone with pretty slick boxing like Cody Haddon. But I think, as I've alluded to in this prediction, in this breakdown, I'm going to have to go with Malcolm Wellmaker by KO, man. He is one of the best prospects in the UFC, man. Period. Fucking period. And I think, like I said, he definitely holds the power advantage. He holds maybe, although Cody Haddon is really slick, it's kind of a slickness that, more of a dirty slickness. I don't know how to describe. I think you can maybe picture what I'm trying to say. It's slick, but it's a little bit dirty. He likes to get dirty, and Malcolm Wellmaker really likes to not pick his shots per se, but he'll pick the shot. He's going to pick the shot, I think, to knock out Cody Haddon. I think it will come. Cody Haddon is just too much of a brawler, too much of a marauder for his own sake, and I think it'll be his demise. And I just see that check left hook fucking landing square to Haddon's skull, or Haddon's chin, and he's going to knock him out. Yeah. That's really it. Moving up. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, Tracy Cortez. Guys, this is my queen. I can't lie to you guys. Tracy Cortez is my queen. She's actually the reason why I'm into... No, I'm kidding. She's definitely not the reason why I'm into the UFC. But, as we all know, very beautiful woman. So, obviously that gives her a couple... Okay, I'm going to stop. Let me actually get into the breakdown of this fight. Erin Blanchfield is probably one of the better... I think she's the best... That's actually really tough to say. I think she's one of the two best fighters not fighting for the title right now, or in the title picture. It's a shame we didn't get to see her against Maycee Barber. I think Maycee Barber is pretty decent. I think Maycee Barber is better than Tracy Cortez. I'll say that. But Blanchfield's good, man. Like, you can just look at her, bro. She looks like a marauder, and she is a marauder. She has decent volume striking, which she uses really well to mix up the grappling. I think in terms of pure wrestling, it's pretty even, but I just think Erin Blanchfield is so much more dangerous on the ground. We've seen her get finishes on the ground, whereas with Tracy Cortez, we haven't seen her get any finish in the UFC. She got out grappled pretty heavily or easily by Rose Namajunas. The only thing I will give Tracy is that was a short notice fight. I don't remember how short notice it was, though. It might have been a couple weeks. Honestly, I don't remember. But we saw just how Erin Blanchfield was able to out-grapple the fuck out of Rose Namajunas. And you just look at the difference in their fight. It's tough. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to have to pick Erin Blanchfield by unanimous decision. And you saw that right. Like, not just decision, unanimous decision. I think Erin Blanchfield's kind of going to win I don't want to say pretty easily, but I think she might be able to do whatever she wants with Tracy Cortez. I wish that would be me. Let me fucking know. No, but I just think Erin Blanchfield, she's just better on the feet. She just throws more volume. I think she's going to be able to land more. And if she wants to, take it to the ground. Tracy Cortez does have good wrestling, but it's mostly good control wrestling, and I just don't think Erin Blanchfield's gonna be intimidated by it. I don't think she's gonna be scared to go to the ground. I think she'll be able to turn positions. Her jiu-jitsu is a little bit better. I think she'll be able to scramble a little bit better. Although we don't really get too much scrambles in women MMA, which is I don't know. I think that's something a lot of people don't point out, but maybe I'm yapping there a little bit. But I just don't think we see as many scrambles when it's two grappling girls as we do with with the guys. But yeah, I just think Erin Blanchfield's going to be better anywhere and everywhere she wants. So I think she's going to get it done. Unanimous decision. Oh my days. Now this is when the fucking card starts. This is when not when it starts, but this is when the card gets to another tier, another level that we all want to see. We all want to fucking see this. This is going to be a banger of a fight. I'm going to say that for a lot of these fights because it's true, man. Like, all of these are fucking bangers. We got Roman Kopylov. Roman Kopylov is a great kickboxer. He's a slick kickboxer. He's going to find his shots. He's going to kind of pitter-patter, although he has decent power. Kind of had a fluky knockout versus Chris Curtis. Really shouldn't have been a knockout. I think there was a couple seconds left, if not maybe even 1 fucking second. Whereas you look at someone like Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop himself, fucking Obama. But I fucking did not realize this guy looks like Obama until I saw an Instagram fucking post earlier. This guy looks like Barack Obama, bro. It's crazy. When was Obama Brazilian? I don't know. Okay, getting back to this fight. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a yapper. But Gregory Rodriguez, man, this guy has insane power. We've seen him knock out guy after guy. And he was about to knock out Jared Cannonier, but I don't know what it is with Jared Cannonier. He's kind of built different, and he was able to survive against Gregory Rodriguez and then fucking knock him out. That was a crazy-ass fight. Like, I had Gregory Rodriguez. I thought Rodriguez was going to win, and it was looking really good, but somehow, some way, Cannonier survived and got it done. And that's been his only loss in the last 5 fights. I really do like Gregory Rodriguez. I think Gregory Rodriguez's ground game is kind of underrated. A lot of people don't talk about it, but his ground and pound, his kind of, not control wrestling, but his wrestling's pretty good. And to be honest, man, now I look at Roman Kopylov and I kind of just see a bitch, bro. He got bitched out by Paulo Costa, which Paulo Costa in the big 2025, you're getting bitched out by Paulo Costa. I don't know if that's the best look. Don't get me wrong, Roman Kopylov, really good striker, but he's kind of like a Leon Edwards, I want to say, which we'll get to later. Slick striker, not the highest volume, pretty good volume. I think he has better volume than maybe a Leon Edwards. I don't know what the numbers are, but just in terms of the eye test. But, I mean, he just really did not look good against Paulo Costa. I think Costa was able to go to the body a lot, which kind of, I don't know if that intimidated Roman Kopylov, but he just kind of stopped striking, he stopped throwing, and Costa was just kind of able to do whatever he wanted with him. And I think if Costa's doing that to you in the big 2025, I think Gregory Rodriguez is going to knock you the fuck out. I mean, this guy has crazy fucking power, for one. I think this would be a mostly stand-up fight, and I think he's going to be able to find the right shot. I don't know if it'll be in the first round, second round, third round. I don't know. I just think he's going to be able to find the shot. I think Roman Kopylov, while he does have pretty good defense, I just think that, they're going to have a little bit of a brawl moment, of an exchange where Gregory Rodriguez is just going to fucking catch him with a hook. And Roman Kopylov's going to go night-night. And it's sad to say because I at one point I really did like the prospect that was Roman Kopylov. Not to say he's not a prospect anymore or can't be a prospect, especially if he wins this fight. But I just think if you're losing to Costa, you're not gonna get too far in this division. He has pretty decent wins, but give me RoboCop. RoboCop's going to get it done. Moving up, we got Bo Nickel, man. We got Bo fucking Nickel, man. I don't even know what I'm saying. Against Rodolfo Vieira. And look, I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is a pretty good fight. I don't know if I'd say this is a 50-50 fight, but I think this is a fight where we're going to see the improvement in one of these guys. I think you're going to see another level to these guys' game. And they've kind of had not a similar path, but obviously Bo Nickel had so much hype. And why the fuck is he talking all this shit saying he's going to be a minus 500,000 favorite against Chimaev? Just shut the fuck up, bro. Like, you're a wrestler. Your striking is not good. You barely outstruck Paul Craig by 2 jabs every fucking round. You literally were standing there like you're a fucking statue. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're going to out-wrestle Chimaev. Obviously, we know he comes from a wrestling background, but that does not mean shit these days. That doesn't mean shit. NCAA wrestling, I don't fucking care. Like, yes, you can out-wrestle me. I mean, fucking barely probably. But, these guys in MMA, they're all top level. But you look against some of that Rodolfo Vieira. This guy's not the most high-level wrestler. So maybe you can out-wrestle him. I don't know. This is going to be an interesting fight. A lot of people do like to think of Rodolfo Vieira as someone that's really good on the ground. And yes, he is. It's mostly his jiu-jitsu. His pure wrestling isn't the best. So I don't think he'll be able to have a lot of success in terms of taking down Bo Nickel if he wanted to. This might even be a striking battle. But as you can see, I don't think we want to see that. I mean, these guys combined for maybe 6 strikes landed per minute, significant strikes. So I don't know if that's the kind of fight we do want to see. But we might get it because as we saw against Paul Craig, Bo Nickel was kind of afraid to go to the ground and risk that jiu-jitsu, those jiu-jitsu exchanges, So I don't know. I mean, Rodolfo Vieira does have decent striking. I do think he holds a slight advantage against Bo Nickel when it comes to the striking, but I don't know if it's going to be the highest level of striking. No, I'll scratch that. This won't be the highest level striking if it comes to the ground or the striking. Holy shit. I don't know what I'm saying, guys. I'm sorry. But enough of the yapping. Let's get to my pick. I like that significant strike accuracy from Bo Nickel. Let me shut the fuck up. I'm absolutely cooked, guys. Give me Bo Nickel by late finisher decision. Look, I talked a lot of shit about Bo Nickel, but I think he deserves to get shit talked about him. He's talking fucking crazy, and he's preaching all this and all that, but he against Reiner de Ritter, he looked like a fucking bitch. 1 knee to the body, and it was game over. And I picked against Bo Nickel. I had Reiner de Ritter to win that fight. I just think he was going to outdog him. And that's exactly what happened. He got outdogged by Reiner de Ritter, which, look, if you're getting outdogged by Reiner de Ritter, that's not the worst thing in the world. Most people are going to get outdogged by Reiner de Ritter. Unless you're fucking Brandon Allen, I guess. That's insane. But Bo Nickel, I think he's going to get it done. I think the biggest difference is going to be, I think he's going to have improved a lot from his last fight. I think he's going to have improved a lot more than Rodolfo Vieira. I don't know if Rodolfo Vieira is going to improve too much. 36 now, although this is 185. These guys do tend to last a little bit longer. I just don't think he has a lot of room to improve. I don't think his game has a lot of room to improve just because of the age, just because of, he probably just gets in there and he's like, I know what to do. I've done this, for years and years. The 1-2, the 1-2-3, the 1-2-3-4. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the striking. And then the grappling, he knows he's good at jiu-jitsu, so he kind of thinks that's enough to get by. But I think Bo Nickel, if he's preaching what he's, if he's saying what if he's going to, holy shit. But with Bo Nickel, I think if he's doing what he's preaching, I think he will be much improved. I think at worst, we're going to see him at least fucking try to be tough. Because if he goes out there and loses in a bitch way like he did against Reiner de Ritter, I think people are just going to be way off the hype train. I think even the UFC is gonna be off the Bo Nickel hype train. And I'm glad. I'm fucking ecstatic that they took this guy off of the main card. This guy didn't deserve it. What the fuck has he done to deserve a main card fight? He hasn't done shit. He subbed Cody Brunage at UFC 300. Wow. Thank you so much. A minus 2,000 favorite. Some shit like that. And he kind of looked like shit. So that's the only thing that does worry me, but I think he's going to be improved. I think he's taking this MMA game seriously. And if he was able to perfect the craft like he was in wrestling, in pure freestyle wrestling in the NCAA, I think he'll put that same energy into MMA, get better, and get this win. I don't know. Obviously I think he'll be ranked at some point, but I don't know if he's going to get to that top 5 level just yet. But we'll see what happens in this fight. It should be a good one. Moving up to the main card. Oh my days. 1 of 5 top 15 ranking fights. Dana, why the fuck don't you just do this every single card? It's not that hard, I promise you. Just do fights that people actually even might slightly care about. Like, this isn't even a crazy fight in the lightweight division, but these are 2 ranked fighters that want to compete, that are in a main card or opening a pay-per-view. So people are going to care, especially when there's, a decent prospect in BSD. I'll give the UFC that. Guys, this whole main card, I'm going to fucking fence it the shit out of, except one fight, which I'll get into once we're in that fight. Guys, I mean, Benny Dariush, this guy's a UFC vet at this point. He's been able to beat a lot of great guys. I mean, you look at his last 5, maybe don't count Ferguson, but he was able to beat someone who I think is pretty similar in fight style when it comes to BSD, and Mateusz Gamrot. And he was able to beat him, maybe not very convincingly, but he was able to show maybe a slight level above Gamrot. I'm sure Gamrot might be improved from that fight, but that was a really impressive showing from Benil Dariush. I'm not going to lie to you. That was a pretty long time ago, so obviously if you go back and watch that fight, that might be a little, how the fuck do you say it? I don't know. It's just, maybe he's not at that level anymore, but we know that he can be at that level and show off the skills that he does have. He's not the oldest. He's 36, so it's not like he's completely washed. Don't look at his hair. And he's definitely not washed, because we saw what he did against Moicano, and I think he was able to pretty convincingly outstrike Moicano outside of getting knocked down. I think he was able to kind of control what happened on the ground. He was able to control the grappling. He was able to switch positions and kind of get on top of Moicano a little bit, get some ground and pound. And you're talking about a fighter that beat the shit out of BST on the ground. He beat the shit out of BST on the ground. There's no other way to put it. Was it a BST off night? Did just Moicano get the right shot in the beginning and that was game over? I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, Benny Dariush was able to control Moicano on the ground, was kind of able to play at his pace, at his game. And BST obviously wasn't able to do that. But then he came back. He beat a no-name fighter in Kyle Prepolek. We expect him to win. And then he just grappled the shit out of Mauricio Hufi, which was a very impressive performance, I will say. I think, if you weren't lying to yourself, you could have seen that coming. Mauricio Hufi had proved nothing on the ground game outside of, stuffing a couple takedowns. But you can't compare a fucking James Lontop to a BST. Like, this guy's a marauder. He's a marauder for a reason. Like, even look at him, bro. He just fucking, you look at him and you think marauder. So, I just think Mauricio Hufi just wasn't at that level in terms of takedown defense or even his ground game in general. Maybe the jiu-jitsu is a little different, but we all know that just pure jiu-jitsu is not going to get you too far in the UFC. So, I think the Mauricio Hufi win could be slightly overhyped, and I'm not just saying that because I don't want to hate on BST. I don't think there's a reason to hate him. I think that if he goes out there and gets a great fucking finish win, I think there's a lot of reasons to be hyped about BST, especially with a crafty vet and Benil Dariush. When a lot of people like to say crafty vet, but Benil Dariush, I think, is going to be the definition of a crafty vet in this fight. And ultimately, I'm going to have to pick Benny Dariush. This is probably my most unpopular pick. This is probably the pick that not a lot of people are going to agree with, because I'm leaving out two very obvious things that are going to affect this fight. One thing being the chin of Benny Dariush. He got knocked out by Oliveira, which nothing to be ashamed about. A lot of people have gotten knocked out by Oliveira. But he got the shit beat out of him by Arman Tsarukyan and got TKO'd by him, I believe, or knocked out, which that's something you might want to be ashamed about. Arman Tsarukyan is very good, but he's not a finisher on the feet because of his striking. And so, that Arman Tsarukyan loss, just how it wasn't the best look. Took his time off, came back and looked pretty good against Moicano, but still got dropped. And BST, like I said, say what you want. He has some power. He's a fucking marauder. And it kind of looks a little goofy, but it works for him. It works for his style. I think I wouldn't be surprised at all if BST goes out there and wins and knocks out Benny Dariush in the first round. But I just think that, like I said, Benny Dariush is going to be... He's just going to be a crafty fucking little vet, and I think he's going to be able to get it done. The one thing about BSD, I think his cardio isn't the best. I think if Benny Dariush... I think he will be able to survive a couple of onslaught, maybe knocks him down, but that's when Benny Dariush locks the fuck in and turns it up. And I think his defense will get a little better. That fucking knock to the head, to the noggin will kind of wake him up and be like, oh shit, I actually have to move my head off the center line. Dodge the punches. Because he's not a hittable guy, but somehow he gets knocked down a lot. Doesn't always get finished, as we saw against Moicano. I think he was able to survive pretty well. Moicano obviously does not have the power that BSD does, but I think he's going to be able to get it done. I think he's going to be a crafty fucking vet. And a very unpopular pick, but I think it's a good pick. I think it's a decent pick, and I think if he can survive an early onslaught from BSD, I think the fight's going to switch in his favor really quickly. Mark my words. If he doesn't get finished in the first round. Moving on. I truly believe I can beat Carlos Prates, mate. I truly believe it. We got Leon fucking Pillow Hands, Low Volume Edwards against Carlos. He's a fucking nightmare, man. He is a fucking nightmare for a reason, and it's not because he's ugly as shit. I'm sorry, Prates. You kind of chopped, bro. I'm not gonna lie, but I love seeing you fight. So. Breaking this fight down, Leon Edwards, I'm sorry, buddy. You looked like shit in your last two fights. You fluked the knockout win against Kamaru Usman, and then probably had the best performance of your career in the third fight and beat Kamaru Usman by decision. Colby Covington fight was fucking dog shit. I think both of the guys should have walked. I think they should have fucking vacated the title after that. And keep in mind, that was after a Pantoja... Who the fuck... Pantoja... Fucking... Why am I forgetting? Brandon Royval fight. So, the difference was insane. He looked like shit. He went in there in England, in Manchester, and got fucking out-dogged by Belal Muhammad. He got outstruck. He got out-wrestled. He just looked like dog shit. And then against... Sean Brady, he had a good first round. He had a decent first round. He was able to mix in his striking well. And Sean Brady didn't really go for the takedown. But as soon as he got that first takedown at the start of the second round, it was game over. He was never really able to get back up to his feet. Only when the fucking round stopped. And I think Sean Brady showed that there's another level now to the welterweight division, and Leon Edwards is not at that level. His volume is just too low. 2.62 significant strikes landed per minute. That's dog shit from a kickboxer. He's a fucking kickboxer that a lot of people say he has great takedowns or better takedowns than people like to think. But Carlos Prates, this motherfucker has some crazy long limbs. I don't know what it is. Ian Gary, you look at that Ian Gary. Just go back and look at the Ian Gary fight. Ian Gary definitely won that fight. 4 rounds to 1, maybe 3 rounds to 2, but Ian Gary tried to take him down, but he just fucking couldn't because this motherfucker's limbs are so long that he like even makes half a movement to go to the ground and his arms are already touching the fucking ground. So or his fingertips are already touching the ground. So this guy has some crazy long limbs. I thought the only way of method or the path of victory for Leon Edwards was to take Carlos Prates down, but I just don't think he's going to be able to do it. I think he has too low volume. He has pillow hands, not pillow kicks, but it's going to take another fucking head kick knockout to win this fight. I hate to fucking spoil the pick already, but Carlos Prates is fucking built different, man. He's one of the fighting nerds that I could see making a title appearance the soonest. Actually, I don't know. The welterweight division is fucking stacked. I think he's probably in the worst division for being able to get a title shot. But I think this would be a great start. And I think, you guys know my pick. I think this is going to be a great start. I think Carlos Prates is going to knock Leon Edwards the fuck out. I rate Leon's defense a little bit. Maybe a little bit more than people do think. But I just don't see the path of victory from Leon Edwards. I think Carlos Prates is going to bring the fight to him. I think, like I said, he won't be able to take him down. I think he's going to land some nasty shots. He's going to hit him with stuff that he's never really been hit with before. And, I mean, what great wins do I say great wins. Barring Kamaru Usman, what great wins do we have from Leon Edwards? Like, he got fucking starched by Nate Diaz, man. He got fucking starched by an old-ass, crusty-ass Nate Diaz. Like, fuck Leon Edwards. This guy's not good. Also, because he fucking sold a parlay of mine on that fucking Manchester card. And that's not the only reason why, but I've been pissed at him ever since. And I think Carlos Prates is going to get this done. He's going to knock him the fuck out. I think he's going to be able to find one shot across 3 rounds. Now, if this was a 5-round fight, maybe I could see a little bit more of an avenue for Leon to win. This is a 3-round fight. He hasn't fought a 3-round fight in a while. If he was already low volume, he's going to be even fucking lower volume. Unless he fucking locks in. Because I do think that Leon Edwards has the tools to beat Carlos. Like, this is the thing. I think he has the tools to beat him. I think he can use his kick to the body, check kick to the body, be able to, in his southpaw stance, be able to use the high kick to block Carlos Prates' left hand. Because that's a dangerous hand. The straight left from Prates. I think he could, get some high kicks going just like Gary did and be able to kind of sting that left hand a little bit, make him not want to use it as much, use it more to cover up more than anything, make him think about ever even throwing it, as he did with Ian Gary. But I just don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to be a Leon bitch Edwards, and Carlos Prates is going to knock him the fuck out. And I really just want this to happen more than anything. Not more than anything, but I just really do want it to happen. And I think we all want it to happen. But it's going to be a good fight. Leon Edwards is a crazy underdog. So if you're a betting man, maybe throw a couple bucks on Leon Edwards just for the fuck of it. Former champion beating a top 15 fighter of all time. I think he's a plus 170, so There's some good value in that, but Carlos Prates, man, just get it done. Moving up, we got the featured fight of the evening. Sean Brady against Michael Cesti Morales. I'm excited for this fight, man. This is another banger in the welterweight division. I think this is a number one contender fight, which is why this is the featured bout. If my fight order is not in order, fuck you, first of all. This is what I got from the official UFC website. $1 billion company, by the way, who can't get their shit right. But we got Sean Brady against Michael Morales. This is going to be a very interesting fight. I think this is going to be... I think we might have the best grappler versus striker, barring the title fight. Like, this is the best grappler versus striker matchup, barring the championship fight, if that makes sense. I think it does. I don't think I need to explain myself. Yeah, man, like I said, Sean Brady looked very, very fucking good against Leon Edwards. Maybe it's a bit masked in the fact that Leon Edwards just isn't the same anymore. We really don't know. I think we're really going to find out the state of the welterweight division after how certain wins and losses are going to age for fighters. This is a big card, man. This is the reason why a lot of people are hyped for it. And when it comes to Michael Morales, he's a slick kickboxer. He's pretty good. He's pretty good on the ground. He has freestyle wrestling championship medals, I believe. Which, you know, if we're being honest with ourselves, that shit does not mean anything in the UFC. Like, a lot of people, I'm hearing a lot of people bring that up. Guys, that shit does not mean anything in the UFC. Especially not when you have a fucking pressure boxing grappler like Sean Brady. I think if we saw that Bilal Muhammad fight today, I think it'd be... I don't know if it'd be very different, but I think... I just would want to see that fight today because I think Sean Brady has made strides in his game. I think he modeled his game around Bilal Muhammad, which is kind of crazy to say. I don't think I've ever thought I'd say that, but he kind of did. I mean, he used pressure boxing against Leon Edwards, and maybe because it was Leon Edwards, but he used pressure boxing to get the takedowns, and he did a great job. He succeeded. These guys are both coming off of wins against Gilbert Burns as well, but Michael Morales got this number one contender fight out of a win against Gilbert Burns. And no disrespect to Gilbert Burns, but it's not the same as a win against Leon Edwards. Why the fuck is my phone buzzing? I'm sorry, guys. It's not the same as a win against Leon Edwards. And I know I'm talking a lot of shit about Leon Edwards, but it's still a great win. He's still a high-skilled fighter. I think he'd beat the shit out of Gilbert Burns. So I just don't know how much we can trust Michael Morales just yet. I think he's showing a lot better flashes than Sean Brady, obviously. A lot more entertaining flashes. Just his style. He has a knockout style. He's knocking people out left, right, and center. At 26 years old, that's another thing. Like, this guy is 26 fucking years old. He has so much more time to improve, to get better. And maybe the improvement is a lot more rapid than a Sean Brady at his 32 years old. Which, again, not the oldest or anything, but yeah, this is going to be a fucking banger. Like I said, this fight is going to show us who's going to be the next contender / fighter for the title. And Sean Brady didn't even have to do this. He didn't even have to take this fight. But respect for him. I think Sean Brady is a fucking dog, a Philly John, Sean John Brady. And I know I always do these breakdowns, but I always allude to who I think is going to win. And I think it's because I try and make it that way just to prove my point. Even though I can prove my point once, I share who won. But I'm going to go with Sean Brady to win this fight. I know a lot of people are picking Michael Morales, but... Miles Morales. No, but, yeah, a lot of people are picking Michael Morales, and I understand why. I see the eagerness to pick him. I see the eagerness to lift him up and make him the number one contender. But I think what it comes down to is just going to be a bit of a step up too quickly for him. not too quickly because he kind of deserves a matchup like this. But I think Sean Brady's just going to be too much for him. I think he's going to be able to maraud him. I think he's going to be able to close the distance in the way that Sean Brady wants, because Michael Morales likes to keep it at range, keep his opponents at bay, and I just don't think he's going to be able to do that with Sean Brady. I think he's going to be able to. I think if he has the exact same game plan as he does with Leon Edwards, I think Sean Brady's going to have a lot of success in this fight. All it takes is pressure wrestling, couple combos, make him not fear you on the feet, but think about more than just the takedowns. And if he can do that, I think it's game over for Michael Morales. And I think Sean Brady will be able to do that because he'll have improved boxing. He'll have improved takedowns. He'll be able, not improved takedowns, but he'll have more refined takedowns. I think he'll be able to use the fence to his liking. And Michael Morales could be very dangerous off of, on the fence and kind of finding that one shot. Sean Brady does tend to get hit quite a bit, but I just think Sean Brady's a fucking dog. He's a fucking John, and I think he's going to get it done by decision. We're in New York, baby, and I'm picking a lot of American fighters, but, there's a lot of good American fighters. None of them, is a champion right now, but I think this guy has one of the, not easiest paths, but one of the clearest paths to being the next American champion. So, Sean Brady by decision, but hey, I wouldn't be mad if Michael Morales starches this guy. I like Sean Brady, but Michael Morales is a super exciting prospect. So either way, I'm not going to be mad at whoever wins this, especially if Sean Brady can get like a late finish as well. So it's going to be a good fight, man. It's going to be a fucking banger. And yeah, moving up, we got the co-main event of the evening. One of the fights that I am most excited for. I know you guys, you kind of making fun of me because I had it at my number 3 spot when it comes to ranking the rest of the year main card fights. But, guys, this is going to be a fucking banger. This is pound for pound number 1 versus pound for pound number 2. This is Islam versus Volk 1. Guys, this is a fucking banger of a WMMA matchup. We have probably definitely the GOAT of the strawweight division in Zhang. I don't know if definitely. Like, both of them are arguable. I think Valentina is definitely the GOAT of 125. I think you're a little blinded if you don't really think so. You're kind of a nostalgia biased merchant. Zhang Weili, I don't know, you have Joanna, but she beat Joanna. The only thing that stood in Zhang Weili's way was, funny enough, Rose Namajunas. And I don't know why the fuck she moved up if she beat Zhang Weili plenty of times. Maybe the weight cut was just too much, but guys, this is going to be a great fight. And Valentina Shevchenko, let's get into it a little bit. Valentina Shevchenko, I think she's been able to show off her, more than anything, her wrestling in the last couple of fights against, if we're being honest though, against Manon Fiorot, against Alexa Grasso. These last 2 fights were stinkfests. They were fucking stinkfests. We really like to praise Valentina, but she's getting a little older. I say that, and it's 37 to 36. I'm glad I didn't say it the other way around. But I think in terms of the fighting style, we've seen the age of Valentina start to show a little bit. Maybe it's because she's wrestling a little more. I don't know. But even on the feet, again, Manon Fiorot, great kickboxer. Nothing to be ashamed about for wanting to take the fight to the ground. But I just think she looks a little slow. She just doesn't really look the same as we saw, maybe even against Santos, even against that first fight against Alexa Grasso, even that fucking second fight against Alexa Grasso, where she looked pretty slick on the feet. Alexa Grasso more of a boxing style, which Zhang Weili is not really a boxer. Just Valentina has shown her age a little bit, but one of the GOATs of WMMA. I think this is for WMMA. I forgot to say, I think this is for WMMA GOAT status. WMMA GOAT status. This is the fucking fight. These two are probably the best of this generation, bar Joanna and then, Amanda Nunes. I think these are the two, and you can even have them above them just because of their longevity. So this is going to be a great fucking fight. I think Zhang Weili is carrying a bit more momentum than Valentina. Not even based just off of the 5 wins, but the way she was able, the way that people were talking about Tatiana Suarez, as if she was fucking Hamzat Chimaev of the strawweight division in women's MMA. Zhang Weili is just a great all-around fighter. She's great on the feet. She's great on the ground. She's able to mix them up as she pleases. I don't think she'll have as much success doing that against Valentina Shevchenko, but this is going to be a really fucking good fight, and I'll give you my winner. I think, like I said, I've alluded to it a little bit, but I'm just pointing things out that we've seen, so maybe you guys don't know who I'm going to pick, but ultimately, guys, I'm going to pick fucking Zhang Weili by decision. I think Zhang Weili is the best pound-for-pound woman MMA fighter in the world. I think it's that simple. I think she's great on the feet. I think she's great on the ground. I think she's able to do what she wants for the most part. And I do think there's going to be uncomfortable moments in this fight. I think Valentina Shevchenko will maybe be able to take down Zhang Weili a couple times. But I think Zhang Weili is going to be the faster striker. I think she's going to, not necessarily the slicker striker, but she's going to be the faster striker. She's going to be able to use that jab. A lot of people are saying that Valentina's she's just going to be bigger, man. She's going to be bigger. And, I will say, I'm sure 10 pounds in WMMA means a lot. Oh, shit. Means a lot more than it does in, guys MMA, just because woman adding 10 pounds is a little bit harder than a man adding 10 pounds, let's just be real. But Valentina doesn't even fucking make 125, man. She literally weighed in at 124 in her last fight. She is taller by an inch. The only thing that is going to be the biggest difference is the reach. But I think Zhang Weili is going to be able to make up for that by, closing that gap, making this a jab fest, using her combos, her faster combos, and sorry, I don't know if you guys heard that, but I think she's gonna be a slicker striker, and I think Valentina might be able to get her down a couple times, but I think she'll be able to get back to her feet or just survive and be able to get back on her feet, where she's gonna have maybe not the significant advantage, but I mean, both of these girls are super well-rounded, and I think that's what intrigues me the most. I don't think we're going to get a finish either way, but this is going to be a very fucking interesting fight. Like, these are the two best all-around fighters probably ever in WMMA, so, guys, WMMA GOAT status on the line right here, and I think Zhang Weili is just going to be crowned the WMMA GOAT. And I really don't know how exactly this fight's gonna pan out, but I just trust Zhang Weili. Valentina's just not gonna be that much bigger. I don't know what people are yapping about. Like, I'm sure Zhang Weili's gonna maybe weigh in at 120 and Valentina 124 or 125 again. Like, it's not gonna be that much of a difference. I know 5 pounds can be a bit of a difference, but when they're in the ring, it's not going to be that much of a difference. And I think it's just going to be a straight up good. Shut the fuck up. I'm sorry if you guys can hear that. A fucking good flyweight title bout. And pay attention, guys. Don't use this one as a drink break, as a smoke break. Pay attention to this fight. This is going to be a very high level fight. But it's not even going to be the highest level fight because, oh my fucking days, this is the main. Guys, get me there. Fucking, actually, don't get me there because I need to see this whole card, but just fucking get me there. Like, the excitement I'm gonna have, the tingles in my you-know-what that I'm gonna have when this fight is about to start, when Bruce Buffer is doing his thing at MSG announcing their names. This is going to be a fucking legendary fight. And as I've said before, as I made a whole fucking video of, Islam Makhachev is fighting for fucking GOAT status in this fight. Simple as that. He's fucking fighting for GOAT status. And if... my bad. And if you don't think that, you're fucking blind. You're blind. You're a nostalgia biased, fucking a nostalgia merchant. Because there would be no argument against Islam Makhachev. Guys, it's the fucking truth. Go back and watch my video and argue against me. Argue a wall. Comment on that video. Fucking liked it. Dislike that shit. I don't know. But enough of Islam. I've already made a whole video of him. Let's talk about JDM. JDM is probably the definition of a modern MMA fighter. A fighter with great takedown defense. And I say modern after the Dagestani kind of takeover, quote-unquote takeover. He has great takedown defense, slick boxing where he's able to use the end of his combos to kind of be able to stuff the takedowns. He leaves his hand in there to be able to just kind of still hold on to the guy that he's fighting. But I think this fight could go a lot of different avenues. I mean, you look at that JDM fight against Belal Muhammad. You know, I think both of these guys have had fights that are going to be similar to this fight. JDM had Muhammad, which, look, Muhammad is not at all... I don't want to say that. Muhammad is probably just a shittier version of Islam Makhachev. Now I can't even say his name right because I meme too much. Islam Makhachev. And Islam Makhachev had the fight against Dustin Poirier, who I think, if anything, is the closest to JDM. Is the closest to what either of these guys have seen. And also he fought Alexander Volkanovski not once, but twice. And look, first, why the fuck is Volk's name like that? That's bugging me. I'm sorry, guys. But look, the first Volkanovski fight was an actual fight. The second one, we don't really count that, but or at least you shouldn't, just because of the circumstance, short notice, coming off a broken arm, off of surgery, kind of fat. So yeah, that Volk fight, I don't know. That second Volk fight, I don't know. But I think a lot of people are like, as funny as it is to say, I think a lot of people are underestimating Islam Makhachev just because of the simple fact that he has struggled against guys like Volkanovski and Poirier. But look what I'm fucking saying. He's struggled against the best featherweight ever, a top 5 fighter, which he convincingly beat on a full camp, on everything. He convincingly beat Alexander Volkanovski, top 5 fighter ever. Top 5 fighter ever in my books. And Dustin Poirier, probably the best fighter ever to not win a belt. A fighter that defined a generation. A fighter that was known for his boxing, which Jack is known for his boxing. And Islam was able to go out there and tit for tat beat him. Guys, he was able to go out there and tit for tat beat Dustin the fucking Diamond Poirier. Dude. You know what you did, dude. Dude, Islam literally beat me, dude. Guys, he fucking outstruck Dustin Poirier by a good amount. 4 rounds to 1. He beat him. Or was going to be 4 rounds to 1 before he subbed him. Maybe even fucking 5-0. I don't know why a lot of judges had, I forget what round it was, that it was split for some reason. I think it was 3 or 4. Might have been 3. Yeah, I think it was 3 actually. Just go back and watch that fight. Islam dominated that fight. And look, JDM, he dominated that fight as well, but he got okay. He did get taken down by Belal Muhammad. And Islam was able to do good stuff in the clinch against against Dustin Poirier, which if he's able to do that against JDM, I don't think he'll be able to do that against JDM, sorry. I think JDM will be able to take him off the fence. I think he'll be able to stuff most of the takedowns that Islam Makhachev has for him. I think JDM is going to have a lot of success boxing on the feet. I think he's going to be... It's tough to say if he's going to be the faster striker, but he's definitely going to be the slicker striker. Islam has good striking, but it's not as slick as JDM, especially the boxing. The body work that JDM is able to do or produce is insane. It's immaculate. It's poetry to watch. It's the closest thing I think we have to Ilia Topuria. And I do think this is kind of a fight that would be similar against Ilia Topuria if that fight ever happens. A fighter with good takedown defense like Ilia Topuria. A fighter with slick boxing, a good jiu-jitsu. And JDM is getting that jiu-jitsu base with Craig Jones, the jiu-jitsu specifics, the wrestling specifics of where to put your foot when he puts his foot there, his hand, the body locks. So this is going to be a very fucking interesting fight. I think it's tough to say this is the toughest test of Islam's career because that first Volk fight. He is a top 5 fighter, but I think we're gonna see greatness regardless. We're gonna see greatness regardless in the fight before this, and I think we're gonna see greatness regardless in this fight. Because if JDM is able to go out there, which he has a very good chance of doing, if JDM is able to go out there and beat Islam Makhachev, an already top 5 fighter of all time, we're like, holy shit, JDM, bro. Like, he already beat a guy on a win streak in Bilal Muhammad, and a guy in an even longer win streak in fucking Islam Makhachev, a top 5 fighter ever, at fucking 29 years old. Like, this guy's 29 years old. I think win or lose, this guy is going to be the champion again. Obviously, if he wins, he'll still be the champion. And I think if he wins, he's going to be a champion maybe for a long time. Unless someone can come in here and, I don't know, do some damage, do some wrecking. Like I said, it'll be different. And also, especially after the Gary versus Muhammad fight that we have next week. But we're going to look at JDM and be like, holy shit, like, this guy is also on track for GOAT status. I think this would put Islam out of GOAT status just because he's not able to get that second title. But now we're looking at a guy in JDM that's like, holy shit, this guy is on track for GOAT status. He beat a top 5 fighter already. He beat a very good fighter in Bilal Muhammad. Before that, the wins aren't there. But he's going to be able to rack up more wins and more wins and more wins because he's young. He loves fighting. And his fight style is super, super delightful to watch. I'll say delightful. I'm using some actual nice vocabulary. He is delightful to watch. And especially if he goes out there and he fucking finishes Islam Makhachev. Holy shit. That's gonna be crazy. But like I said, guys, go watch the video when it comes to Islam Makhachev. I think if he wins, he's the GOAT. Just to wrap it up really quick, or not wrap it up, but summarize real quick. I think the resume, the win streak, he'd tie Anderson Silva on the win streak, which no one has been able to do in 10, 15 plus years. He would have a super stacked resume. And then he'd be double champ. So I think there'd be no reason to deny Islam Makhachev. He'd have one loss when he was a tadpole, and he would have not been caught on PEDs. So I think all of that combined would cement Islam Makhachev as the GOAT. But who is going to win this fight? Who am I going to pick? Drum roll, please. Oh, my days. Yes, guys. Islam fucking Makhachev, I think, is going to win this fight. I think it's going to be a late submission or decision. Look, I've talked high praises of JDM. I think he's a very, very good fighter. But I think, not to say that people are overrating him, but people forget, man. People forget, man. Islam Makhachev is at worst... some people might even put him third now, but at worst third. But I think he's averaging a second or first best fighter in the fucking UFC, pound for pound. Like, this guy has the best. He's the most dangerous guy. This guy's the most dangerous fight we've ever seen on the ground. I'm gonna fucking say it. Charles Oliveira exists. Royce Gracie. Don't even get me started. I think the only other guy would be Charles Oliveira, and this guy fucking submitted Charles Oliveira. And yes, he was stunned and all this and that, but he has really good wrestling. He has very good trips. He's going to be able... I think he's going to really rely on some judo takedowns, some judo trips, and I think he's going to be able to take JDM down. He's looking bulk the fuck up. Like, that creatine is definitely helping him out. I think a lot of people are overrating what JDM is going to be able to do, maybe in the clinch. I think Islam is going to be able to hold him a little bit against the fence. I think Islam is going to have at least 3 minutes. I think he's going to have at least one round where he controls JDM on the ground or in the clinch, something along those lines. I think people forget, man, not to come back to this, but people forget, man, Islam Makhachev is one of the best, is the second... No, for now, Islam is the best fighter of this generation, just based on what we've seen, based on the title defenses, based on the fights that he's had. He is the second best fighter of this generation. He's not a boring fighter. He's not Khabib. He's not one-dimensional. He's able to strike with the best of the best. He was able to strike with Volkanovski. He was able to strike with Justin Poirier. He was able to strike with Charles Oliveira. And he made a jiu-jitsu artist and Renato Moicano look easy, look like nothing. And JDM, not to say he struggled against Bilal Muhammad. I think he won convincingly. But there was moments where Bilal Muhammad had a lot of success. He tagged up JDM a little bit. And I think Islam Makhachev has a lot better striking than Bilal Muhammad does. And I think he's going to be able to use that to his advantage to take JDM down, to tag him up a little bit and be like, he's going to be like, oh shit, he actually has good striking. Like, you know, I got to really pay attention to that, not just the takedowns. And I think that's going to make him switch his mind a little bit. He's going to forget a little bit. And Islam's going to have some success and he's going to be able to take him down. And like I said, this guy is the most dangerous fighter we've ever seen on the ground. He's able to kind of submit these guys with ease. And not to say he's going to do that to JDM, but I think if he tags him up a little bit, you know, it gets to the 4th, 5th round. And JDM does have 5-round cardio. I'll give him that. I wasn't sure what to expect against Bilal Muhammad, but he proved to us that he has that 5-round cardio. And that's another reason why it's going to be a great fight, because both of these guys have great cardio and they'll be able to strike all 5 rounds, or they'll be able to have exchanges on the ground, have some scrambles for 5 rounds. I think we're going to see a bit of everything in this fight. And this is why it's one of the best fights. This is why this is one of the best cards. But ultimately, if you're going to leave with anything in this video, I'm going to bet on greatness. I'm going to bet on greatness 9.9 times out of 10. It's just what it is. I'm going to bet on greatness, and we've seen Islam be great time and time again. And I think Hopera MMA said this in his video. I just don't see Islam losing. I don't see this guy losing. This guy is fucking built different, man. Those guys out in Russia, those guys out in Dagestan, Khabib and his dad, what they were able to do, these guys are built different, and I think Islam Makhachev's going to get it done. I think it'll be a kind of similar fight to the first Volk fight, but he might be able to get a late sub. And yeah, guys, that's going to be my predictions for this video. I think this was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but that's a good thing. I like to yap, and the whole reason why I make these videos is because I like to yap. I like to give my predictions, and if anything, if I never have success with this, I want to be able to just, you know, have a this get a little personal, but I like to have a creative outlet, and especially when it comes to something that I love like MMA and the UFC, and especially when it comes to a fucking card like this. Holy shit. I'm fucking stuttering. But especially when it comes to a card like this, that's gonna be a banger. I can't wait. Get me this Saturday. This has been the longest week of my life, but it's only gonna make Saturday more worth it. And I think it's gonna be one of the best cards. And I do have a lot of finishes on this card, so I hope it comes to fruition. And yeah, guys, this was my predictions for UFC 322. I hope you enjoy the shit out of that card. You know, grab your drinks, grab your snacks, grab your everything. Just watch the card from start to finish. It's gonna be a banger, and I'm gonna make a breakdown of the card after the day after. So look out for that. I hope you guys enjoy the card. I hope it's a banger that it promises to be. And yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.